Dant Crossing, Gethsemane, Kentucky. Timeless hospitality that stirs the spirit. Dant Crossing is a one-of-a-kind destination for unforgettable weddings, memorable corporate events, day trips, and weekend getaways. The pastoral campus is anchored by Watershed Distillery and includes an amphitheater that seats 2,000, a 12-acre lake for fishing and unique lodging options, creating an immersive experience that's rooted in the community and culture of our little slice of Kentucky. More attractions will open soon at Dant Crossing, including our 21,000 square foot distillery, which we will have the ability to produce 15,000 barrels of spirit each year, a network of wooded walking trails, fully functional private train depot, farm-to-table restaurant, and the Legacy, a premier wedding and events venue. Whether you're looking to host an event, book a stay, or reserve a tasting, we're ready to welcome you. Learn more at dantcrossing.com.
Spirits of French Lick is proud to introduce the Maddie Gladden Bottled and Bond Bourbon. This 4-year aged bourbon is double pot distilled and non-chill filtered and has a full-bodied mouthfeel with eucalyptus, molasses, clove, ginger, and slight citrus as well as grains of paradise. The finish is long and reappearing on the back of the tongue with notes of pepper, tobacco leaf, and mint green. All of our spirits are available for tasting and purchase inside the French Lick Winery and Distillery. Spirits of French Lick. Respect the grain, please enjoy responsibly, and be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
Oh, show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. Show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. For if we don't find the next whiskey bar, I tell you we must die. I tell you we must die. I tell you we must die.
All right, welcome to another Tiny's Under 10-minute tasting. Tonight, we are tasting the Wiseman, put out by Kentucky Owl. It is an expression that has been put out recently without Dixon Dedman, who has left Kentucky Owl. And tonight, we're here to taste this. It was $39.99, $40. So it puts you into the Kentucky Owl arena, and it is affordable. It's kind of like that's not something that Kentucky Owl had up until this time. Wiseman is the first official collaboration of the Stoli Group and the Bardstown Bourbon Company. And this offer comes right at the entry level between the Kentucky Owl line and the Bardstown Fusion series. It's an approachable bourbon suitable for a large audience of both new and seasoned whiskey drinkers alike. Basically, it is, I've had this, I've put it on my main podcast, but tonight we're going to taste it in under 10 minutes. I am Tiny of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. You can check us out on YouTube. You could check us out on Facebook. You could check us out on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, the Scotchy Bourbon Boys everywhere. On Twitter, we're at Scotchy the, www.scotchybourbonboys.com. Check us out there for all of our information on everything that we do, podcast. We do whiskey live tastings, plus Tiny's under 10-minute tasting. Tonight, I will be tasting in this Scotchy Bourbon Boy Glencairn, courtesy of Martin Duffy, who is also a Scotchy Bourbon Boy, part of our group. He is the North American Glencairn glass representative. He is the one that gives us or gets us this logo onto our glass, helps us out with that. Wonderful man. If you have any questions, look him up on Facebook. He's all over the place. I did have this other cool glass I picked up at the whiskey tasting at Wilderness Trail. So it shows you another type of tasting glass. These are two different types, but this tasting glass is the tasting glass of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Tonight with Wiseman, the Wiseman, this is a 90.8 proof. 90.8 proof. I'm going to pour it into my Glencairn. Pour a little bit in there. I might have a little bit more, but there you go. One of the great things about Glencairn, one, it's a tulip shape. So that when you're nosing, now the actual Scotch or the under 10-minute tasting, in the under 10-minute tasting rating, the rating, wow. That's not live, but it's the under 10-minute tasting rating scale that we have is 25 for nose, 25 for taste, 25 for body, and 25 for finish. Getting back to the Glencairn, it's a tulip shape. It allows you to nose. It brings all the flavors of that whiskey up to a point. When you're nosing the Glencairn, I usually start at the bottom. You get a certain taste right there. I am getting notes of caramel and toffee, but if you come back up, I'm getting a little bit of apple. So, and there's a little herbal there that I'm getting. So that's one cool thing. The other thing about a Glencairn is you can set it on its side and you can roll it back and forth, which allows the whiskey to coat the side of the glass. When you take a look at that side of the glass, up to the light, you can see the legs form back into the glass. Let's see what's happening here. I'm taking a look. It's sticking pretty good to the side. Legs haven't formed yet. It's like we're just waiting for it to form. It's taking a while. This has a nice viscosity. It seems it's sticky on the sides. There we go. There's lots of thin legs forming at the bottom of, if you can see that. I wonder if you can, but sometimes I'm looking. Yeah, there they are. You can kind of see that. So that's really a nice, the fatty acids are sticking to the sides, telling you that it's not a thin bourbon. It goes towards the body of the bourbon. Now, nose that again. So yeah, a lot caramel. I'm getting a little bit of burnt toffee, a little bit of oak. All right, let's taste this. Oh, maybe some brown sugar too. And if you go towards the top, you get different flavors. You can get some floral sometimes. You get different things. It's kind of fun. This is a delicious bourbon. It reminds me of Kentucky Owl. Some of their higher priced expressions. There's no doubt about it. It's probably not as full of a mouthfeel like a big body like them, because they're higher strength, cask strength. Kentucky Owls are 116, 120, higher proof bourbons. But maybe it reminds me, it's really a good bourbon. It hits all the notes. And I love the sweet caramel toffee finish that's left. I mean, it's fantastic. So I'm going to rate this on a scale of 100. I'm going to give the nose a 20. It's a good nose. It's not as complicated as some of the 25s that you need, but it's everything I'm nosing in here is delicious. You got a little bit of apple, toffee, caramel, and there was that little bit of oak and toasted, maybe a little toasted not marshmallow, just a little toasted oak. So, okay, so I gave the nose a 20. That is a big body on the back palate. Doesn't go to your cheeks, doesn't go under your tongue, but it's roof of your mouth, your tongue, and your whole palate of your tongue. So this body, I'm going to give it, I'm going to give the body a 19. Now the taste, this is where we get into, I'm getting a really nice hug from this 90.8 proof. Kentucky Hug is how warm it makes you feel going down. Taste, it's very good. If you like a little bit of oak, but you got sweet oak, and you got, I'm getting a little bit of graham cracker on the back end too. And then it goes back to toffee and caramel for the, that is delicious. It's what I like. It's hitting all the notes for me. So that's one thing. Just remember when you're tasting bourbon, and I'm giving a guide on what I'm tasting on this. When you're tasting bourbon, it's all about you. Just because I like something doesn't mean you have to like something. I've just tried to give out a guide of some of the flavors that I taste and smell, but some people don't like some of those flavors. I mean, as a basic bourbon, yeah, I mean, some of those flavors, I mean, there's definitely a rye aspect. Yeah, everything that I was talking about is in this tasting notes, nothing new. So I gave it a 19, a 20 on the nose, a 19 for the body. Taste, I'm going to give it 23. This is a damn good bourbon. So, and then on the finish, I can't ask for anything more. It's a little short. It's not a $300 bottle finish, but it gets into the long end of medium finish, and it's delicious. You got that graham cracker going to like a vanilla toffee. Well, oh my God, there's so much vanilla. All right, so I give the finish a 23. So we're looking at 46 and 40, 39, which comes out to an 85. So everybody, I give the Wiseman, I definitely an 85 out of 100 for a $40 bottle of bourbon that I picked up. If you see this, don't pass it up. I highly recommend it. Delicious bourbon. Thank you, everybody, again for another awesome Tiny's under 10-minute tasting. Until next time, remember, good whiskey, bourbon, rye equals good times, good friends, and go out there and live your life dangerously. Remember, everybody, Scotchy Bourbon Boys, www.scotchybourbonboys.com. Good night.
Oh, show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. Show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. For if we don't find the next whiskey bar, I tell you we must die. I tell you we must die. I tell you we must die.
The Watershed Story. A watershed moment might be pivotal, but it might also be quiet and fleeting. It could be a monumentous occasion, a cause for celebration, an enormous triumph, or a small daily victory. A watershed moment could be a rekindling or an observation or a gathering. Any opportunity to relish with friends and family. It's whatever you choose to cheers to, who you're gathered around, and whatever's worth celebrating. We founded Watershed Distillery on the principles of community in 2010. We wanted to live in, work in, and contribute to the community in which we grew up. We aimed to create spirits and stood apart in quality and character. Along the way, we set out to form a community of our own, one that could gather together to savor, celebrate, and enjoy good spirits and company. We've grown from a tiny little still and 2 guys in jumpsuits to a dedicated team of over 40 people and 2 much larger stills. If you're ever in the area, stop by so we can introduce you to our team and pour you some of our award-winning bourbon. Creating it was our watershed moment, but we want to hear about yours.